VCISO.au Cyberwatch, May 29, 2025. Strategic Cybersecurity Intelligence Brief, powered by VCISO.au. Stay informed, stay prepared, stay secure. 1. Ransomware. Snapshot: no new victims reported in ANZ. Summary: no new ransomware victims have been reported in Australia or New Zealand over the past 24 hours. 2. Zen Server VM tools for Windows. Critical privilege escalation vulnerabilities. Summary: 3 high-severity vulnerabilities, CVE 2025-27462, 27463, 27464, allow attackers to run arbitrary code and escalate privileges inside guest VMs. They impact all versions of Zen Server VM tools for Windows prior to 9.4.1, posing a critical threat to cloud and enterprise environments. The vulnerabilities persist across major drivers, ZenCons, ZeniFace, and ZenBus, affecting systems running Zen Server 8.4 and Citrix Hypervisor 8.2, CU1 LTSR. Attackers could exploit these to compromise entire virtualized Windows environments from within guest OSes. Virtualization administrators must act immediately to avoid lateral movement and data loss in high-density VM environments. VCISO.au recommendation: upgrade to Zen Server VM tools 9.4.1 Plus without delay. Disable or isolate affected guest VMs until patched. Restrict guest OS privileges and disable unused services. Monitor VM to hypervisor interactions for abnormal driver calls. Consider implementing VM isolation and segmentation policies. 3. CISA Advisory plus CIAM and SOAR procurement guidance released. Summary: CISA released an ICS vulnerability advisory for Johnson Controls ICU tool and new global CIAM SOAR implementation guidance. The guidance targets both executives and practitioners, helping organizations mature their detection and response capabilities. It provides actionable strategies for log prioritization, automation workflows, and vendor evaluation. As cyber attacks grow more complex, automated response and log centralization are becoming foundational for incident management. This represents a strategic opportunity to align cybersecurity operations with business risk and compliance mandates. 4. Alleged AT&T data leak, 31 million records exposed. Summary: a dark web leak allegedly containing 31 million AT&T customer records has sparked concerns about telecom data security. The exposed data reportedly includes full names, addresses, tax IDs, device identifiers, IPs, and contact details. While not yet verified by AT&T, cybersecurity experts warn that such a breach could fuel identity theft, SIM swapping, and phishing. This incident illustrates how critical it is for large enterprises to safeguard customer PII at all stages of data lifecycle. It also underscores the risk of third-party exposure, poor access controls, and legacy data retention policies. VCISO.au recommendation: assess exposure of customer data in your own systems and supplier ecosystem. Use data classification to apply strict encryption and retention policies on PII. Ensure customer access portals are protected with MFA and anomaly detection. 5. ASIS router botnet attack installs, persistent SSH backdoor summary. Over 9,000 ASIS routers have been compromised by a botnet using CVE 2023-39780 to install a persistent SSH backdoor. Dubbed ISSH, the malware targets consumer and SOHO models like RTAC3100 and RTAX55 and is suspected to be state-linked. The attackers bypass authentication and inject SSH keys to maintain stealth access via a non-standard port, 53282. Even firmware updates do not remove the backdoor, making these routers long-term security liabilities. This is a reminder of the critical role firmware security and router hygiene play in home and remote workforce networks. VCISO.au recommendation: replace affected routers or immediately update to the latest firmware where supported. Reset all credentials and disable unnecessary remote access features. Inspect for unauthorized SSH keys or port configurations. 6. Czechia attributes cyber attack to China's APT-31 summary. The Czech government has formally blamed Chinese APT group APT-31 for espionage against its Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The campaign reportedly spanned years and targeted national critical infrastructure, drawing widespread condemnation. This follows a global pattern of Chinese APTs breaching EU, NATO, and US institutions for political and economic intelligence. Nation-state campaigns are often stealthy, long-lasting, and difficult to detect without deep monitoring. Such threats elevate the importance of geopolitical threat awareness and proactive defense in government and private sectors alike. VCISO.au recommendation. Conduct red team exercises simulating state-level espionage TTPs. Apply least privilege and enhanced logging across email, document access, and communication systems. Adopt encrypted communications for sensitive diplomatic or strategic content. 7. Microsoft OneDrive file picker flaw allows excessive cloud access summary. Security researchers uncovered a flaw in Microsoft's OneDrive file picker that can grant apps full drive access even when a user selects a single file. This is due to overly broad OAuth scopes and vague consent screens that don't clearly communicate the extent of access. Affected integrations may include widely used tools like ChatGPT, Trello, Slack, and ClickUp. The issue puts user data and compliance with privacy laws, e.g., GDPR, at serious risk. It's a critical reminder to scrutinize OAuth permissions and review cloud app integrations regularly. VCISO.au. Recommendation: review and restrict OAuth scopes for third-party apps integrated with OneDrive or M365. Educate users on interpreting cloud app consent prompts. Leverage cloud access security brokers, CASBs, for visibility and control over third-party cloud access. 8. Ransomware exposure list. Last 24 hours, United States. Cater Ruma and Associates, Quick Frames, USA. High-grade materials, Valiant Energy Solutions. AC Supply, Inc. The Salvation Army, Spain. Laboratorios Belloc. Brands, Nelly, Yunzi, Freshfield, Canada. Lac La Biche, Transport, Limited. Unknown, not found. els.com.vn, possibly Vietnam, unconfirmed. Final note from VCISO.au, Australia and New Zealand remain relatively untouched this week, but the global threat landscape continues to shift. Critical infrastructure, software supply chains, and endpoint security are under siege. Ensure your cybersecurity program is both proactive and verifiable. By Anil Yelamati.